Hello, welcome back to my channel, The Star Means Hope. This is going to be my video of all my autumnal and spooky season decks. Apologies for the lighting. I really wanted to film this today, but the sun has gone in now. However, I feel like because of the decks that I'm showing, it kind of fits the vibe anyway. So I'm just going to go with it. I've got my pumpkin spice flavoured candle here. I've got my little bat crystal, tiger's eye crystal. I've got some little mushroom crystals here. So I'm in the kind of autumn Halloween-y feeling right now. Right, yeah, I wanted to show some of the, well, all of the decks that I have that I have picked out to use for this season. So for the rest of September and all of October, I'm going to be using a mixture of these decks, probably into November as well. Oh, I forgot to mention my spread cloth. This is a new crochet cloth I'd made. I haven't added a border yet, but it's skulls. I learned how to do them on using a video on YouTube, and I love it, and it's all Halloween-y, so that's why I wanted this in the background too. Okay, I'm just going to start because otherwise I'm going to just ramble. I've got quite a few decks that fit this theme. I don't really know where to start. Let me go with, I might as well just start here, so the Horror Tarot. So this is an Insight Editions deck. One of their better ones, I feel. It's quite the problem I have with Insight Editions decks most of the time, which is similar to problems that most people have, is that they tend to be very pippish, but this one isn't really, except the Pentacle suit. The Pentacle suit is still quite pippish, but the rest of it is fine, and I love it. It's very spooky season, so I'll just show you some. I love this magician card. It's also quite hard to tell what they are because of this foiling on the front, but it's not very good on camera, but it's okay in real life, in person. So this deck definitely has spooky vibes. It's got ghosts and vampires and skeletons. I love this creature in the tower in the window. I don't really like the sun card because I don't like clowns, but apart from that one, I really like it. So it's still RWS based, but the Mothman card is my favourite. I love Mothman. But it kind of goes its own way, obviously. It's like Phantom of the Opera. Vampires. There's lots going on. I love the cups. This the illustrator for this deck is Abigail Larson, which is the same as the Darkwood Tarot, which I also have on here. In fact, I'll probably show it next. I love her illustrations, and this one is just like really spooky, creepy. I like how it's kind of horror tropes, especially in the majors. It's not like just based on one, it's not like a vampire deck or a zombie deck. It's kind of a mixture of all different things that you might see in horror films and horror books, rather than a specific like part within the horror genre. So that is the Horror Tarot. I've got quite a few, so I probably should speed it up a little bit. I haven't edged this yet, but I feel like I want to edge it. Oh, these are the backs. I always forget to show backs, but I love backs. So here we go. See if I remember all the other decks. Right, I said I was going to show Darkwood next because it's the same artist. Different author for the book, but the same artist. So Dark Wood Tarot. These are the backs. I've edged it myself in black. So this has still got kind of creepy, spooky autumn vibes, but it's not quite as dark as the horror one. I don't know what I've done here. Oh, it's because I have put reversals into it. Sorry. I'll just show you the best I can. So yeah, still kind of creepy, spooky, but not quite as dark. But it's based kind of in the forest. It's more just kind of autumn vibes, I feel, rather than Halloween specifically, which the horror one could be more of. But I really love this deck. I did a big deep dive on this deck. I've got a whole video where I've just used it, if you're interested. This is my kind of go-to shadow work deck as well. The pumpkins. Right, so that's the Dark Wood Tarot. This candle smells really nice. Right, this in here I have the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot, which I didn't get thinking it was going to be just kind of an autumnal deck, but it definitely feels like it. It has all these kind of witchy cats with cauldrons and hats and things. It feels very autumnal and kind of this season. The pumpkins. And the kind of colour palette as well is very autumnal, like lots of browns and oranges. And I do use it other times as well, but it's very, it's a Christmas one, but it is very, it does feel very like autumn deck. I don't think I'd pull it out in the middle of summer, but I'd keep it out for winter as well. I think I did last year actually. I think I got this about this time last year, sort of September, October time. Whenever it came out, I pre-ordered this one, so I had got it as soon as it came out last year. But yeah, it does feel that like the colour palette and the fact that it has lots of witchy cats in it does feel autumnal. But then there are some that, like this doesn't. This kind of feels more any time of year, maybe even spring, but the majority of it is very autumnal. I love this hermit card with the cat in a box. And this Sphinx cat is covered in tattoos, that's cool. Right, so yeah, this is the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Oh, and these are the backs. And this is the bag I made for it to match. Right. I've got this one here. These I'll just go with this one next. This is the, what is this one? Antique Anatomy in here. So the Antique Anatomy I do use all year round, but it does feel very autumnal. I feel like it feels quite spring as well because of the flowers, but it's definitely more because of the like the kind of muted colour palette. This kind of, it looks like old paper, like backgrounds, and the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like anatomy drawing kind of skulls and other body parts. It does feel very like Halloweeny, very spooky season. and I really like this. I haven't actually had this deck out for a while. I feel like I did put it away for spring and summer, but I'm looking forward to working with this again during this season. It feels like, I don't think I finished my thoughts earlier. It feels very like pictures you might find in an anatomy textbook, especially with these, like the figures at the bottom. It just feels very textbooky. I really like it. And I like how the cups suits, which are these elixirs, they, like the writing on the fronts of them really fit the suits. So like here we've got, this is the 8 of cups, the 8 of elixirs, and you've got let go, soul journey, so it kind of fits the meanings of the 8 of cups, where it's kind of letting go and moving on, moving away from something, moving on for something. Oh, the sun and moon are my favourites in this. So the moon has the back of the skull and the sun is the exact same, but the skull facing forward. Yeah, so I really like this one. This is the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Oh, and these are the backs. Next up I have, these are in not really any particular order, apart from I think I'm going to do all the tarot first and then Oracle. I always get the Midway Centennial out for this season because, I mean, it's just the Midway Smith, but it's, hang on, I've got the guidebook stuck in here. It's just got a muted colour palette, which feels very autumnal. I won't show too many of these because everyone knows what this looks like. But it's got this, it's kind of muted instead of the bright colours. And again, it has that kind of old paper kind of colour to it. Like the actual, it's not white, it's kind of this cream, like old paper. So that's the Midway Centennial. Next I'm going to have, what should I show you next? We'll go with the Zombie Tarot. Again, I got this for Christmas last year, so I haven't used it loads since I got it. So I'm really looking forward to using this properly this season. I really like this deck, and from what I have used of it so far, it kind of has a bit of a cheeky feel to it. I think I'm going to maybe do a deep dive on this deck this season to see how it works, because just from going through it, it kind of feels quite comical in a way. But I feel like it can give serious readings as well, so it would be interesting just to see kind of the voice it has. I haven't really used it enough to work that out yet, so I really like it. I like the vintage feel to it, but I also like the zombie side of it. One of my favourite cards, I don't know if it will come up. If I can't, I'll talk about it when I do a deep dive, but there's a really funny card that I really like. The suits are they were different, but they're fairly easy to interpret. So hazards are pentacles. I think the rest are the same ones. Cups, swords. Yeah, so it's just hazards that's different. Oh, this one. This is, I love this card. So the 7 of Swords can be about, you know, betrayal and someone being maybe a bit sneaky, and I just love how it's this woman has just kicked the man down the stairs to sacrifice him so she can presumably get away. I just find that quite funny. I love that card. That's what I mean about it, maybe seeming a bit cheeky. I love this Queen of Swords as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using this one. I think it will be really fun. So that's the Zombie Tarot. Oh, I didn't show the backs, but the backs are just, I don't actually like how there's writing on the backs, because it means, well, it wouldn't be reversible anyway because of the picture, but it's like, do we really need the name of the deck on the back? But okay, it's a minor thing really. Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. This has very kind of Halloween-y, autumnal vibes. I think because it's got a lot of, it has a lot of orange in it. These are the backs. It's really creepy and weird. I kind of find it quite hard to read with, but again, I haven't really used it too much. And whenever I have had readings with it, done readings with it, it has been really good. So I feel like it's kind of quite an underrated deck. I've got a Willy Wonka type character here. And yeah, it's got all these kind of creepy characters. It's kind of in this kind of other world. I really like this Temperance card. It is still based on the RWS, what it seems like some of the most of the cards are, but it also goes its own way. From what I remember from using this last year, the guidebook has actually, it's only a little white book, and it's a low Scarabeo one, so it's got like loads of different languages in it, but it doesn't have much in it, but it kind of gives you a different take on some of the meanings. I remember looking through this before and thinking, oh, actually, that makes sense, and it's not something I've thought of before, so I feel like this is actually a bit of a hidden gem. But again, I haven't worked with it enough to have a proper opinion yet. So I'm looking forward to using that one, like the Zombie Tarot. The last two tarots are not necessarily spooky, scary, but they do still fit that vibe. So I've got the Buffy Tarot, which obviously, because of the vampires, does still fit the vibe, although the colour scheme doesn't necessarily feel autumnal to me, but just because it's Buffy. I would use this all year round, but it still feels, I'm still going to have it out this season, because, you know, it does have creatures and demons and vampires, so it does still fit. And I just really like it because I love Buffy. I feel like I should do a deep dive on this at some point as well. So this is the Buffy Tarot, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot. I don't really know what the official name for it is, to be honest. The book says, it just says Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot deck and guidebook. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot. I just call it Buffy Tarot. I feel like I want to maybe edge this in some of the colours that are on the cards as well, like reds and purples and browns, oranges. Right, another deck I'm going to have out for this season is the Pulp Tarot, which again I haven't, it's not necessarily spooky season, autumnal, but I think it just feels that kind of vibe to me. I use this all year round. I really like it, but it does seem to fit a kind of autumnal, maybe end of summer, autumnal feeling too. I think it's just because it's darker in like colour, not nature, it's just how it looks aesthetically. And I think because it has these kind of, it's like old poster kind of feeling as well. because it's vintage and weathered. It kind of looks, you know, like old weathered books. All these kind of creases as if they've been posters that have been folded up. It just seems to fit for me. But like I said, I do use this all year round, but I definitely want to use it this season. I really like this deck. So this is the Pulp Tarot, and these are the backs, which are kind of cool. They are reversible, and I've edged it in red. I feel like one of the, maybe the initial, what am I thinking of? The first edition, that's what I meant to say. The first edition did have red edging, but mine didn't. Mine, I don't think it's the first. But yeah, I edged it in red. And I just want to show you the box because the box is really cool. It looks like a book. It looks like an old style book, which I think is really cool. Right, that was all my tarot decks that I want to work with this season. I've got some Oracle now. Now, this one I always show my kind of things about, videos about seasonal decks, but I tend to just show this cards for the season because this is a seasonal deck and it is split into the seasons, and I have separated out all the autumn cards just to show that, so I'm not going to show the rest of it. So these are the cards that are in the autumn section of this deck. I really like the artwork on this deck. I wish it had some keywords, but I don't mind using the guidebooks all the time for my oracles, so I do prefer it if they have keywords on the deck as well as on the card as well as the title, but it's not a complete deal breaker for me. I know this is a common complaint with this deck, just from watching other people's videos. And I don't know much about botanical meanings without looking at the book, but you know, I don't really mind. So these are all the autumn cards from this deck. Right, Magic Morsels. I have done a video just on this on its own when I first got it. Still love it, and it just feels very witchy and Halloweeny, seasonal. This is Christmas, but I think it's the colours that have been chosen, and yeah, it's kind of dark. It's a lot of black. It's got greens and purples and black basically. It's got some orange as well. But it just feels kind of witchy and of this sort of season. But again, I do use this all year round. But because it has a very witchy feel, it feels like a good one to bring out. There's a bat on the ribbon for the chocolates, or it looks like a bat. All those kinds of things. Little details. And like here, the chicken nuggets are bats as well. So it definitely feels Halloweeny. I love the pumpkin pie. The little ghost and the cream on the top and the pumpkin. I think that's my favourite card actually. I just really like this deck, and like I said, I've got a video on it on its own, and I've explained why I bought it. I know I pointed this out in this video as well, but I love this little olive in the martini. I just love it. All the little details. Yeah, it's quite, it's not very busy, but there's all these little details that just make it feel special and make a difference. So that's the Magic Morsels Oracle deck. This is an indie deck by our Lady Moonco, whose name is Laura Wong. Right, hang on, I'm saving those two. Actually, no, I'll do those now. I've got 2 seasons of the Witch for this season. So I've got the Mabon one and the Samhain one. It was actually Mabon yesterday, as I'm filming this. So I'll start with this one because it's first. I literally have just got this in. I wanted it and I kept putting off getting it. But I have now got it, and I spent about an hour when I first got it looking through, and I really love it. It's a different artist now to all the previous seasons of the Witch oracles. So the Samhain one was first, then the Yule, then the Beltane, and now the Mabon. But all of them except this one had a different artist, the Giada Rose. But now all of the new decks from this one onwards are going to have a new artist. And, you know, I'm not mad about it because I like the original artwork, but I think I prefer the new artwork. I certainly don't mind. It doesn't feel too different that you're not going to be able to use the decks together and it would seem weird, but I think it's how the people are drawn. I actually prefer this artwork. That's my initial reaction anyway to it. And like I said, I was looking through this earlier and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And it definitely feels very, you know, of the season, which it would, because that's the whole point. So I'm looking forward to working with this. There's a Kitchen Witch. Love that one. I love all the seasons of the Witch oracles. The guidebooks are amazing. They have, oh, this one's creepy. I don't like the face on this one. It looks a bit clowny to me. The amount of information in the books and the amount of spreads. I'm so impressed by how many spreads they put in the books for all of them so far. And there's only like one that's in all of them, which is the interview spread. The rest of them, there's about 5, 6, 7, and I don't know, I'll let me count them up in a minute. Different deck specific spreads based on the season, and they're just, I really appreciate that. I love spreads in guidebooks that are deck specific. I just love it. And they have so many. In fact, let me just quickly show. So they have, I'm not going to show all of them, but because I don't think that's very fair to the creators, but these are all the spreads that come in it. So they all have an interview spread, which is the same, but they have, so for example, Falling Leaves spread. Darkness Falls spread. They're all Maple Tree spread. They're all for the season. They fit the season, which I love. And the backs are all similar. This bit is changed on all of them in the colours. So this one's orange. The Samhain one I'm going to show in a minute is red and has like hands, like skeleton hands, I think. The Yule one is green. The Beltane one is gold. So they're all different colours, but the backs are still very similar. So the Samhain one has got red backs, but they're similar. They've all got this full moon on them. Right, so I'm going to put this one away. So this one has now got it's a slightly different artist, the original artist. But I don't feel like they're that different that it makes a difference. But I do prefer the new art, but I still like this as well. So this is the Samhain deck, and again it has deck specific. I'll read some of the titles to the spreads in a minute. I like working seasonally with things, so these, when I first started getting some of these decks, I wasn't planning to get all 8. There will be 8 when it ends, when it finishes. I've got all of them so far now, so I wasn't planning to get like all 8. I was maybe planning on getting 1 from each, kind of like a summery one, an autumn one, a spring one and a winter one, but I now have the both kind of autumny ones, which I've just shown you. So I think I'm just going to end up getting all of them. So, oh, they all have a Celtic cross in as well, but with a spin on the season. This one's also got a graveyard spread, a rotten apple, transformation, shadow spread, moon phases, coming of winter. So they're all different, and they have so many. This one's red gilding. So yeah, so that is, there are the seasons, the 2 seasons of the witch that are for this autumn season. So the Mabon and the Samhain. I've got this one because, again, it kind of feels kind of witchy. In fact, there is a witch suit. This is spread, the guidebook is split into suits. You've got the witch suit, the mermaid suit, and princess suit. So some of these cards feel kind of witchy. I had this out quite a lot over the summer, but I feel like it will work well for the autumn as well. I really like having this deck next to my bed and pulling a little card before bed, because it's very gentle and sweet and just really nice to give me those kinds of messages. So yeah. So that is the, oh, I didn't even say what it was. It's the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck, and these are the backs. I've got 2 more that seem kind of autumnal. I'm going to say Alice the Wonderland Oracle, because although it's Alice in Wonderland, it's kind of dark, and I do use it as a shadow deck, and I use it for like inner child stuff, but it does have a darkness to it, which I really like. Although I think, let's do it this way, it'll be easier. Alice in Wonderland is actually pretty dark when you really read it, like the book. It's kind of dark, and that's what I love about it. I love Alice in Wonderland. And because it has all these kind of big eye dolls, kind of feels a bit creepy, but also kind of cute and creepy. Is an aesthetic I like. But yeah, it does have, when you actually use this deck and when you read the guidebook, it is kind of dark, but that's what I love about it. So yeah, so I'm going to be using this, you know, it's shadow worky. I'm going to be using it this season. These are the backs, and I have edged it in like a pinky colour. It's kind of this pink. So that's Alice the Wonderland Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and illustrated by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith. And then last one, Into the Lonely Woods. Again, it just has that autumnal feel. And I didn't use this a ton last year since I've had it either, because I got it towards the end of winter, kind of going into spring. And it's very kind of, it's aimed at for times of isolation, it says on the book. Blessings and messages for times of solitude and isolation. and I feel like during the spring and summer I'm kind of going out and doing more, so it doesn't kind of fit those seasons for me. But autumn and winter are when I am a bit more hermity, and it will kind of fit more for that. So I'm looking forward to getting this out. I love the creatures in this. I think they are so cute, like these kind of cute little hairy monsters. Look how cute it is. I just love them. They're like teddy bears, but a bit monstery, more monstery. I just think they're cute, and I really like it. But yeah, I haven't used it loads and loads, so I am going to be using it more. I feel like I had a little bit of a break from my tarot practice in September. Yeah, this summer and over the summer I wasn't doing as much reading for myself. I tend to read way more, like all the time in autumn winter times, but this summer I'm kind of out and about doing more, so I didn't, and I had a bit of a break. I haven't really posted many videos for like a month, and it's because I've been back at work, and it was kind of, I was out and about in the summer, so I didn't really have as much time, but I'm feeling like getting back to it again now I've had a bit of a break. So yeah, these are, or were, all of my decks that I'm planning to use over the autumn. Oh, hang on, these are the backs. And maybe going into winter as well, but certainly for kind of autumn spooky season. They're all the ones that I think aesthetically work. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this time of the year. I'm really looking forward to doing a bit more reading for myself after having a break, like I said. And yeah, so thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like or comment in the comments below. What do you think of the decks that I've chosen? Have you got any of these? Do you like them? Do you use them at any other times? Yeah. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.